You know, when you think of those classic, super British luxury cars, brands like Jaguar and Land Rover, they're practically institutions, right? But like with so many famous brands, if you pull back the curtain on who owns them, you find a much bigger and honestly a way more surprising story. It's a story that reveals this global giant that, well, most of us in the West have probably heard of, but very few of us actually understand.
So let me ask you, who do you think owns Jaguar and Land Rover? An American car company? A German conglomerate, maybe? You might think it's a British holding company, but no. The real answer is so much more interesting than that.
In fact, it's a company that has literally shaped the history of an entire nation. And its story is just this incredible mix of vision, ambition, and, you'll see, a little bit of delicious irony. Okay, so the owner is the Tata Group, which is based in India. Now, for a lot of us, knowing they own Jaguar Land Rover is really just the tiniest tip of the iceberg. We're about to peel back the layers on one of the biggest, oldest, and most unique global companies you've probably never really looked at up close.
Just to give you a sense of their legacy, get this. Their story starts way, way back in 1868. This company was founded before the first car ever hit the road, before the Wright brothers even dreamed of taking flight, and before most people had electricity in their homes. I mean, this is a company that's woven into the very fabric of modern history itself.
So, we've established they're old, but just how big are they? The scale of this operation it's genuinely staggering. So let's just break it down by the numbers for a second. Okay, so if we look back to 2014, the company's revenue was over $103 billion. But here's the stat that really got me. It's not just the number, it's that a massive 67% of that revenue was generated outside of India. That just proves this is a true global powerhouse. And what about the people making it all happen? Well, the Tata companies employ over 581,000 people across the globe. That is an enormous workforce, and we're going to put that number into perspective in just a second.
Their reach is just as impressive. Tata operates in more than 100 countries, and they export to 150. So yeah, this isn't some regional player. They are absolutely a global one.
So, to put that employee number into context, check this out. Tata's workforce of over 500,000 people is actually larger than that of the Samsung Group, a brand we all know. It just highlights how unbelievably massive this unknown giant really is.
So, what do all these people do? Well, pretty much everything. Seriously, we're talking steel, we're talking cars, we're talking IT consulting, even the Tetley tea you might have in your kitchen cabinet right now. They run luxury hotels, chemical plants, power companies. The diversity is just insane. But to really get why Tata became what it is today, we have to go beyond the numbers and go right back to the beginning. We need to talk about the man whose vision really set this whole thing in motion. This is Jamsetji Tata, born in 1839. He wasn't just a businessman, he was a nation builder. He became known as one of the key founders of modern India. And his personal vision? Well, that became the company's DNA. See, Jamsetji had these 4 huge ambitions, and they weren't just about making money. They were about building the foundational pillars for his country. A steel company, a world-class science institution, a landmark hotel, and a hydroelectric plant to power it all. And here's the incredible part. Jamsetji only lived to see one of his 4 dreams actually come true, the hotel, which opened in 1903, just a year before he passed away. But his vision was so powerful that his son Dorab made it his mission to finish the job. And by 1915, all 4 dreams were a reality, shaping the future of both the company and the country for a century to come. Now, this long legacy of building and innovating, it sets the stage for one of the most unbelievable business turnaround stories I've ever heard. It's a tale of humility, humiliation, and, in the end, total vindication. Okay, so this story starts in 1999. Tata tried to sell its new passenger car division to Ford. The meeting was a disaster. Ford officials were apparently really harsh, telling the Tata team, and I quote, "You do not know anything, we will do you a favor by buying your car division." The Tata team flew home that night, completely humiliated. Okay, now flash forward just 9 years to 2008. The financial crisis is in full swing, and Ford is on the ropes. They need to sell Jaguar and Land Rover, and who steps in to buy them for $2.3 billion? You guessed it, the very same company they had insulted. I mean, what a reversal of fortune. But the story of Tata isn't just about massive scale or these dramatic takeovers. What really, truly sets them apart is an ethos that goes right back to their founder. It's a philosophy that puts people and community right at the center of the business.
And this philosophy has been there for over a century. They implemented the 8-hour workday all the way back in 1912. They introduced medical benefits for all employees in 1917. I mean, these were policies that were decades ahead of their time anywhere else in the world. It just shows you this focus on welfare was baked in from the very beginning. And that philosophy is still going strong today. You see, after the devastating 2004 tsunami left thousands without clean drinking water, the company developed something called the TATA Swatch, a super simple, compact water purifier for your home, designed specifically for those most in need.
And the most remarkable part? It costs less than $21. It doesn't need any electricity, and its filters can last a family of 5 for an entire year. This is innovation that's driven by a real sense of social responsibility. And all of this brings us full circle right back to the founder's vision. Jamshedji Tata himself said, "In a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in the business, but in fact the very existence of it." Wow, that one sentence, it really explains everything we've talked about today.
It's a pretty powerful idea, isn't it? And it leaves us with this final thought. In a world that's so often driven by short-term profits, what would our world look like if more of these corporate giants saw the community not just as some stakeholder, but as the very reason they exist in the first place? Something to think about.